Alright, good evening everybody. Welcome to the 27th episode of the the Librarian run. I did want to start off by saying I do appreciate for a number of you this has got to be a pretty tedious way of doing a stream because we've essentially been spamming the Forsaken Reach, trying to clear out the deck. The funny thing is that I suspect this gets a little bit more interesting to watch whenever whenever I'm on the verge of losing. Like we had the case where we're up to two Fascination, 2 Dread, and I think it was a Fascination. I can't remember if it was a Fascination or a Dread. It was probably a Fascination that spawned, which could have ended the run. Of course, the thing for me is that's the worst case because it means I have to reset all of that progress. But for viewer purposes, I'm assuming that becomes quite dramatic just because, you don't know if the run's going to be ending. In any case, I am kind of conscious of the dilemma that a challenge run like this creates, because I think for some people you may be interested in seeing whether or not it can be done. Like, how do we do things like get rights and, just generally how do we pull off a victory? But I also have to assume, probably for a number of you, the novelty has worn off, and seeing me go to the Reach for the, 30th time is limited. So, again, we'll plug ahead. I appreciate there's a big sagging middle in this, but like I said, at this point we have sort of a finite number of visits to the Reach that will tell us, like, definitively whether or not my understanding of it works. And there is a step forward if it doesn't work out, although it is considerably harder for me, so it's one of the reasons why I want to see whether or not this thing works out. Alright, optimism is a spice which saves, so we're safe from the evidence for now. We've got a Season of Visions coming up, so we're safe there. Lots of furtive truths, so it's generally good news for us. And as before, we run ahead with the evidence, or with the investigation. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and they've found no new clues. So the big thing I probably want to keep an eye on right now is the passage of time. There's a side of me that says, it'd be kind of nice if we could queue up a bunch of Forsaken Reaches, but that's basically the way I wind up having to arrest Rhaenyra before she exalts, so we'll just do it one at a time like we're accustomed to. We've been a bit lucky in terms of avoiding the night terrors lately. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure what causes it, but I guess it doesn't really matter if I had the money or the moth follower first. There's always a danger in adding a follower before the challenge, but this is the more minor of the two. The worst one is if I have only Moth 5 when it comes time to go up against the Watchers, because that really is the time where we wind up potentially running into wounds. Again, the occult scrap surplus is intentional. Okay, safe across treacherous ground. Good news there. We add Yzabeth, then we add money, and hopefully it's a boring trip. Okay, Season of Ardor's coming up, so even if we do have night terrors, we'll be in good shape. I'm gonna skip reading the wood text for... Maybe I'll stop until we've cycled through the deck again, just so we can know what we're up against challenge-wise. Okay, and we'll bring Leo in now. Okay, Season of Visions, so I'll avoid... I want to avoid any fascination, but we don't get that from the wood, which is actually one of the nice side effects of focusing on lesser challenges. Okay. Treasures lie before us. Our expedition... Oh, I always keep forgetting. This isn't the one to read. It's the next one. Barred door, a cramped space, a hidden cargo. So, in future, once I get past the Watchers, that's when I queue up Leo. And we have some vitality if we get sick. Doesn't look like that's coming up, though. Okay, the Watchers here were guarding crates sealed with thief-signed ribbons. This was not a lawful operation. The owners of the cargo will not be pleased with our meddling. Kerner and Goat. What about the piebald pigment, though? Not sure what to make of that, to be honest. Okay, so far so good. Okay, Season of Ambition's coming up, so I'd generally, where I can, it would be nice not to have to... It'd be nice not to have to worry about that, because again, Season of Ambitions, only bad things can happen whenever it involves Rhaenyra at this point. Now, I suppose the alternative to that is I just start using Rhaenyra in the job slot, but of course that means then I have to tie up one of my reason to avoid opening the envelope. So honestly, a lot of this is just gonna depend on, like, where we are in terms of the Season of Ambitions. If I think Rhaenyra is going to be up to, no good, if I can't afford the extra attention from the Suppression Bureau, then maybe we start bringing her in on the investigation a little bit more often. We're not at that point yet, so I'm going to leave it... I'm going to keep the status quo, but I am potentially going to have to change up how I use the work slot in the next little bit. Coming up. Okay, Season of Suspicion, so that's going to be inconvenient for us. I don't know what's there yet. Okay, another... This is the one I'm most scared of, because this is the thing that can actually advance my my rival. However, we should get Leo working on the evidence. I think... Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to pick up the Mystique. There's not a lot we can do about that. Now, did we... Yeah, Sucking Mud, Trixie Fisher, the earth is hungry. We need lantern to show us the way or forge to make one. Nope! Hang on. Huh. For some reason I thought we were further along than we actually are. That's good from the Suppression Bureau, or from the notoriety point of view. Safe across treacherous ground. We're mud spattered and thorn scratched, but we made it through. Okay, Okay, another season of ambitions coming up, so that'll probably be Rhaenyra again. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, no, I guess it was like right on the border, because you could... Well, no, maybe I misread that it was going to the magnet and actually wound up going in there, but... My rival has been up to some kind of mischief. The Suppression Bureau may take note. Okay, we got rid of the mischief, although we may be right back to where we started. Yeah, so that is Rhaenyra, and it's a season of suspicion coming up. She's looking for an expedition this time, though, so all is well. Okay, I think we get hit with the... I think the Suppression Bureau catches us this time, though. Okay, let's pick up heavy... Oh, wrong one. Again, this is the drawback of going on fast forward. Okay, piebald pigment, refulgin. So it would seem to me like we've crossed over into the next deck. We're not ready for that yet. Sometimes I have dreamt of a tall woman in a sand-colored coat who stands at the foot of my bed, smiling as she watches me sleep. In that dream, she turns her head with the swiftness of a bird, and her fingers flex like talons. I do not think I've dreamt of her last night. If I had, I could not have slept so soundly. I'm wondering, is that the Vagabond, maybe? Feels like the Vagabond. Anyways. Yeah, this was a mistake, but we'll wait it out now. We'll put our vitality towards the recovery. I've neglected my studies, but I stand a little straighter. Okay, another expedition. Clifton, funds and funds. Attorneys at law. Yes, it is very cheap of me, by the way, that I'm not using funds, but in this case, the study for, you know, the Librarian run does not involve a lot of, it doesn't involve a lot of study use, so why not save the cash, right? Okay, another season of ambitions. Now we go back to the woods. Cross treacherous ground is good news. We'll add Yzabet, cross our fingers, and then potentially add Leo to the mix. So The occult scraps are kind of important. The thing that will actually be important in terms of the number of occult scraps is if we do wind up with a book, because then we know we really do need to go to the Forsaken Reach a lot. Again, the nice thing about having this reserve is that even in the worst case scenario, they turn into Furtive Truths, and again, we upgrade to Forgotten Chronicles, etc., etc. Okay, Season of Suspicion, so we're not quite ready to worry about that yet. In fact, I think we may dodge it entirely. We'll see. It's close either way. Okay, 26. Yeah, no, we'll pass it. And again, I'm sorry to just kind of go crashing through all of this, but I'm... A barred door, a cramped space, a hidden cargo. I am really hoping that we see something to tell us where we stand. Okay, the Watchers were guarding crates sealed with thief-signed ribbons. This was not a lawful operation. The owners of the cargo may not be pleased with our meddling. So, bitter black salts, cracked noonstone, and a vital pigment. Not looking good. And I was premature with Leo, so I need to keep that in mind for future. Again, we keep going with the... going with the occult scraps. I do kind of have my my drop dead point on this. We're gonna get hit with the evidence. But I haven't quite hit it. But I think I think it's fair to say that we're at the point now in the deck. We should be expecting. We should be expecting texts if my hypothesis is correct. And if it isn't, well, obviously I've got other problems. Okay, Terrors, we don't have a Season of Despair coming up though, so we'll do what we can. At this point, I might as well wait. Okay. Money. And there is evidence, so we will send Sylvia off to deal with that. So there's the possibility that Sylvia fails, at which point we need to heal her. We may need to throw Porter in, which is clearly not ideal, but we'll worry about that if it happens. Go. Sorry, I'm so eager to get everything done that I'm forgetting the basics in terms of what actually needs to go in which slot. There we go. Yeah, safe across treacherous ground, so good start. We await word on tampering with records. Minion has returned, and we're feeling very pleased with ourselves. So I don't need to worry about the Season of Despair, given that the Night Terrors have worn off. Or will have worn off by that time. We got 30 seconds left on those. Come on. Okay, back to the woods. And I'll wait a little while on Leo, given what happened last time. Watcher's confusion, their bewilderment is our opportunity. Okay. Season of sickness, so we go for health. Oh, there we go. There's my health. There's nothing stopping me from going studying health, so I will, but I don't need to. I don't need to get too. I don't need to get too panicky about it. Okay. Again, we're hoping for something a little more exciting here from the Forsaken Reach. A barred door, a cramped space, a hidden cargo. Okay, so the Byzantine Tink doesn't tell me that much. Nor does the Rose Pearl Dust or the Revulcan. This is definitely the scenario I was worried about. Uh, 53 seconds, I think we'll take another trip to the wood. Queue up the occult scrap again. And optimism is the spice which saves. So I will confess, off of this set of results, I'm feeling a little more nervous about the approach. And to be honest, like, there's a couple of things that I can say, like, maybe it just checks to see, you know, depending on the language, whether or not the book is available. Like, there's any number of things, there's any number of conditions that might be messing with the, you know, might be messing with my current conception of things, but I think it's clear enough that I need to be looking for alternatives if this doesn't work out. So, you know, I'm sort of shooting in the dark in terms of how many, like, where we are in terms of redrawing the deck, but I think it is fair to say that we should have certain expectations in terms of where we're at in the overall. I should be deploying Leo. I think at this point we should say, okay, we're in a new deck. We should be expecting books at this point, and if we don't see books, it may be because we misunderstand how that deck works. Oh, I almost got in trouble at work for not paying attention. Save across treacherous ground, always good news. And okay, my rival's been up to some kind of mischief. I'm wondering if the fast speed is messing with stuff, because that's the second time I've seen a Mystique hop in and hop out. I'm certainly not going to complain if things wind up easier for me. Okay. Again, still operating on the assumption that we're going to be able to get books from the Forsaken Reach, so this is why I'm stocking up. And no luck with Leo, but I'm not going to complain about being able to deploy him. Again, it's just a chance to get more vitality at this point, really. Okay, Season of Despair. So that one's always a danger just because we don't know what's going to come out of work, although the Contentment might help. And Watcher's Confusion, so we'll be a little late on the follow-up notoriety, but like I said, the aim here, and this is, I will confess, part of this is me kind of being conscious of the stream. I'm trying to cycle through as many Forsaken Reaches as I can, just so I can have a clearer idea of where we stand. Okay, more stained gloves, more rose pearl dust, more piebald pigment. I'm not quite ready to give up, but this is the point where I'm either this is the point where I'm saying either I'm very unlucky, or I'm just gonna have to go to the Shires and rethink where I'm at with things. Because I'd sort of say on the balance of things. Actually, you know what? I think there's a quick way that I can double check this. What was it? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So, of the books that I think I can get a copy of, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my notes here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 out of, I believe, 27. Well, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28. So, like, you know, it's one of these things here, the probability of us seeing a book should be increasing each draw, but, like, you also don't want to run into something like the gambler's fallacy here, right? Like, every single one of these cards does have the possibility of being drawn. So, yeah. But I will confess, like, it's not looking great. So let's give this one more shot. We are healthy, so we can go back to the wood. I'll go a little longer this time, just so I can do one more run. And then what I might do between episodes, I might actually one of the reasons I'm going to go a little bit later on this one is so that I can do a bit of homework. I think between episodes I'll maybe sit down and make out my list again. Just because I've wanted to do this calculation a couple of times on like during the episode, and I realize it doesn't make for the most exciting even just me like counting them out loud doesn't really make for the most compelling viewing. I figure being able to work that stuff out for myself might it'll help me make some decisions, but it will also it'll save the time, or sorry, like, what am I trying to say? Like, it'll help me figure out something more compelling to watch. Because I think one of the other challenges that I've run into, right, is that while I'm struggling with the Forsaken Reach, if I have something to talk about, that's not necessarily bad. But the way that I'm playing right now, I haven't really read that much of the text of the game, right? So, a scheme to murder a hunter is at foot. A rival intends to end a hunter. This may be to my advantage, but it may also draw attention. So, you know, you can sort of see I had a higher degree of certainty that we'd be seeing some books this time around because I was a little more willing to go crashing through the content of the game. Well, that's unlucky. Dark days, I must be careful not to let doubts creep in. Dread may provoke full-fledged despair. But yeah, so, you know, I clearly made an estimation in terms of where I was going to be progress-wise, and of course the drawback here is I haven't had a whole lot to say for this episode, so, you know, if I were to just sit in silence and be going to the Forsaken Reach over and over and over again, like, I might as well not upload that video. I mean, you get to hear the wonderful soundtrack of the game, that's nice enough. But I think in terms of any educational value, right, we sort of know what I'm trying to look for in this. Let's see whether or not Rhaenyra successfully murders Connie. Rival intends to end a hunter. This may be to my advantage, but it may also draw attention. Did we get past? Yes. But at the very least, in this case here, you know, I'll take it as a lesson. I will focus a little bit more on the content of the game. But like I said, I'm going to maybe take a little bit of time between episodes to do some work on my own account just to see what I would do. Because there's a certain point too, right? If I were to be playing this on my own without any consideration for a stream, there's probably a point where I would want to sit down and say, alright, this thing is clearly not working, I can play this game forever, but the result's not necessarily going to change. Okay, this may ultimately bring the Suppression Bureau to my door. Now honestly, I should have sent Leo out earlier, but better late than never. And good news here. Rhaenyra's still at 5, which is good. Should probably go to the wheel whenever I see the peculiar rumor at this point. I suppose it's kind of nice that Dream and Work are staggered, but... Okay, Season of Suspicion's coming up, which is going to be awkward. Okay, that's good. Rhaenyra can't advance off of that. Okay, let's see what the goodies were. Ooh, we're gonna have to deal with some evidence, I think. Okay, it's like Christmas. Not looking good. So we've got the Gradon Oil, Vital Pigment, and Refulgin. Okay. So, yeah. I think I'm going to need to sit down and have a think. So, I don't know if in the next episode I'm going to push ahead with the Forsaken Reach again, or if I maybe... Actually, what I'll probably do is I'll work out... Because again, I had a list somewhere which said all of the contents of the Forsaken Reach, so I think I'll work that out for myself. We definitely should have cycled through the deck at this point. But I'm going to take some time to figure out how all this works. But particularly because I feel like, I don't know, like some of this, I may be just getting in my own head in terms of how enjoyable this is to watch. But I do appreciate, for those of you who have been finding this a drag but are still watching, I do actually appreciate your patience with that. I'm going to honor that by taking some time and working out for myself. Because again, like this is a challenge, but I do appreciate that people are also kind of hostage to my whims, right? They didn't necessarily ask me to do a challenge. So I guess I'll queue up the occult scrap. But yeah, I don't think that'll affect the schedule or that, but I am going to be coming back to the... I'm going to be coming back to the episode a little bit later, and I'm just going to sort of try and work. So one, I'm going to try and reverse engineer how many runs I've had of this thing, because I think I should be able to, for the same reason that I was able to know what I'd be getting from the Forsaken Reach, I should be able to figure out what what I can get from other locations. And then, yeah, from there, I think I will make a decision either to go to the Shires so I can at least have new books, or have a higher degree of certainty that we really do just need to keep flogging the Forsaken Reach and we'll get what we need. Anyways, as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.